Just found out it's not good for you. So the doctor's been lying to me all along. It's taking a lot of my money.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Comete Algo. I'm your host, Kevin Lopez.
And I'm Fatty from the Hidden Scent Village.
So for today, as you guys see, we got an empty seat again. There's a good reason for it.
Yeah, we got it. You're bored of us, so you need new people.
Yeah. So for this week's guest, she is a Wellesley grad, went all the way to the East Coast to learn chemistry and science, all the basic stuff that Pedro probably wouldn't know. And probably I wouldn't either.
Pretty sure I failed it, but I took it, but I failed it.
And now she's teaching the youth where she pretty much grew up in, which is pretty dope. And she also has her own business as well. I've been seeing it grow little by little throughout this whole time that she's had it. This is Lucia Pilar. Welcome to the show, Lucy. Are you a foodie, or do you have like only a certain taste? How does that work for you?
Actually, I wouldn't consider myself a foodie.
Okay.
So I have my personal finance page. One of the things that I started doing when I started into personal finance was budgeting. So maybe I'm gonna call you guys out on like your budget for food. So once I started budgeting, I only had a limited amount of money, so I had to cook a lot at home. I'm not a foodie, like restaurant foodie, but I'm down to like learn how to cook new things at home.
That's one way definitely to follow what you're pretty much preaching. So I mean, I gotta praise you for that. Hey, we might have to hire you because we'd be spending a lot of money on food.
Yeah.
So as you guys know, we always give the guests the power to choose the next spot that we're gonna eat. And Lucy, where did you decide to take us today?
So today I decided for Mendocino Farms,
Nice.
which we just figured I was pronouncing it wrong the whole time. Mendocino, it's actually Mendocino Farms. These sandwiches they're like gourmet sandwiches. I like them personally. They're healthier in a way. Hopefully you guys like it.
We're not picky.
Yeah, I like fake things.
We have 3 different sandwiches that we're gonna try out. Can't wait for you guys to check it out. Alright guys, so for the first sandwich, we went with the not-sewed fried chicken sandwich. It's a ciabatta bread with a bunch of vegetables on top with grilled chicken, I want to say. Have you ever had this one?
No, I haven't.
No?
I have had the Peruvian one.
I mean, it looks good.
What's the purple?
It's red onions.
Ah,
Yeah.
It's a pretty healthy sandwich. Like it has the vegetables.
I could tell.
I don't want it.
So this is a cold sandwich. This isn't like a hot
Yeah.
sandwich. I guess the breading is like, just to kind of make you feel better. Pedro took 2
I
bites.
think it's chicken.
Towards this is supposed to be a vegan one. That's why we're kind of like.
He's like questioning it. But overall though, I guess they put the mustard like on the bread with like some mayo probably, cause
I see it.
right? Pretty good. What'd you think?
I like it.
Yeah.
The crumbly, I just don't like that.
Oh, the breading.
You don't like the
breading.
crunchiness?
No, I like it. It just like falls apart a little too
Oh, it's
easy.
messy.
Oh,
You don't like the
yeah.
messiness of
I don't
it.
like the mess, but I like the taste. I like the vegetables.
I'm not big on red onions or onions overall, but as far as like with the sandwich, it's pretty good. So pretty good first sandwich to lead up to the first topic. We know you as the money coach. We know you, well, some people know you as a teacher. Let's start off from the beginning and like kind of give people like a little background on you. Where did you grow up?
Yeah, so I grew up in South Central. Well, I think South Central is like very vague.
Yeah.
I grew up next to 110, so Manchester and Figueroa. And so I went to elementary Manchester, Bethune, and then Fremont with you. For me, it was like for like 10 years until I left for college. I grew up in Figueroa where there was like a lot of prostitutes, a lot of dealing going on. And I think that's what motivated me to like do good in high school because I'm like, I need to get out. Like I can't live this life at this moment.
Prostitutes motivated you to get out?
Yes,
To get out.
To get out.
As you guys can see, South Central is real. It's very real. Did you walk to school?
Yeah, I would have to walk to school in the morning.
Like you would see that every morning. Living around the area could definitely put a peace of mind into you to definitely do better. Moving on to college, like you said, you went to the East Coast. What kind of made you do that? Was it change of scenery?
Changes, yes.
Yeah.
I think I was very lucky, Kevin. I was always like with the honor kids, like the AP cohorts, and I do think that they do give you like a special type of treatment that they don't give like the other students. Now, even as a teacher, I try to like not have those biased thoughts with my kids because I have seen the power and the effects that it has done to our classmates.
Yeah.
I was very lucky, like I said. The minute I started 9th grade, I don't know if you have Mr. Goodman.
No, but I definitely know of him.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he was like, do you know that if you get straight A's throughout high school, you can get a full ride to like a UC? And when he said that, like my eyes open, and I'm
Really?
like, I'm gonna do whatever I have to do, because that was in 2009. So we were just coming out of a recession, or in the middle of a recession. Like my
pretty
parents
bad.
had lost their jobs. I was like, okay, this is my only way out of here. And that's why I ended up getting straight A's. And I was lucky enough to get scouted by a program called One Voice while we were at Fremont. And not many people heard about it because they would only go to particular kids. They were the ones that helped me apply to like over 20 colleges all over the country. And once we got our acceptance letter, Wellesley was one of the ones that gave me a full ride. At that time, Wellesley was charging $60K to go.
Just per year?
Per year.
Or semester?
Per year. They ended up giving me $59K in financial aid.
Let's go.
Oh, that's a blessing
yeah.
right there. Let's
I mean,
go.
other than the full ride, like that doesn't get better than that.
Yeah. How was just being there? Like, you know, it was a change of scenery.
Yeah, culture shock. Did you get that? No hoes out there?
No. So Wellesley's actually an all-women's college.
Oh,
yeah.
really? Wow.
So it's like St. Mary's out here?
So yes.
The more you know.
So that was really hard because I went to school co-ed
Yeah,
my
yeah.
whole life, and there were actually a lot of students there who have always just been in like all girls school.
Wow.
So for them it was nothing new, but for me it was like really like difficult because I have always been used to like having guy friends, and just like even in AP classes, just in school in general, like boys tend to dominate.
Yeah.
They were louder, the girls were quieter. My classmates' parents were professors, like at big top universities, doctors, you know, people working in Wall Street. We didn't have the same education at Fremont.
Right.
Like as many AP classes I took, it did not help me
Still
at all.
didn't compare, yeah.
My first semester, I think I barely passed with C's. I struggled a lot. I hated that place so much. Like it was 1 month in, and I'm like, I made the worst decision of my life.
Oh no.
Was it like a mental thing though? Like you compared yourself to them, and you're like, I'm not at their level, and that kind of like brought you down?
Well, yeah, but it's like really hard to get out of it.
Especially when you're alone.
Even if I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do better. Are you really gonna do better?
And I like that you brought that up because I've seen what the mental toll it does to like a lot of different friends that I've had that went far. I kind of like that you like open up your horizons because it just shows you a whole new different part. Well, at least I've had some teachers that told us there's more to the hood than anything, and you guys had the opportunity to definitely go and just discover a new place.
I know you were struggling out there and all, but did you see yourself grow as a person? Like you came back stronger? Like I've been through that, like so anything else is just probably like...
You know, that I always ground myself through that. Like, oh, I graduated from this college. I can do anything I want. With my personal finance page, like even if it's slow, I'm like, I'm getting, you know, somewhere. But I learned a lot, you know, like I told you, all 4 years it was a full ride. My parents basically pay like less than 1K, which is nothing.
Yeah.
And I also got to study abroad. So one semester I was in Spain, and I went to like so many countries.
Oh yeah, dude, she's
Again,
traveled
for
the world,
free.
man.
You fancy.
We went to like Panama for like a week or so for like medical brigade. That was fun. I spent like 2 months in Argentina doing research. There's days I just think about when I was traveling, and I'm like, would I have ever traveled? Never. I wouldn't have.
There's more to the hood. Definitely try your best, and there's definitely other options than just the hood. Alright guys, so for the second one, we went with the summer street corn sandwich. It's got a sesame seed bun, it's got veggies in it, it's got a chicken. Didn't look like it had chicken in there, but we've been told it
Maybe
does.
fake chicken.
Maybe.
I don't
We
know.
do not know, but we will try it, and of course it has a street corn.
Just found out it's not good for you. So the throat's been lying to me all along. It's taking a lot of my money.
But it looks good.
Yeah.
Nice white bread, sesame seed right there. Take that first bite with the corn. I kind of wasn't expecting this taste, but it's still good.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's okay.
It's okay.
I like the chili. Did you get a chili taste?
Yeah. Definitely hotter. Like Earth Cafe, they give us a bell pepper and probably like a Diablo sandwich. Like bell pepper's gonna give us a kick, bro.
This is kind of giving me like panes con pollo vibes.
It does.
The sauce, the chicken, the veggies, and kind of the bread too. I don't know. Of course, it's not pan francés. Well, that's what I call it, or bolillo. But I mean, it's got like somewhat of the same texture.
It's good. I just never thought of having corn in my sandwiches.
They just kind of threw it in there, like
And they claim that
Let's
it's
gentrify
healthy.
the food.
make it exotic.
I'm either really hungry or I'm really enjoying the food.
No, I'm not sure it's jalapenos, but there's something
Yeah,
like
look.
this. There is jalapenos.
Lit. Well, as you can see, I enjoyed the sandwich. It was pretty like gentrified, right?
It was pretty. I like it. I like gentrified food. Apparently, never thought I would have a sandwich with corn in it, but I like the chicken and I like the little pepper. And I like the sesame. I love sesame. So I love sesame bagels. So this is good.
Ooh, nice. Pedro?
It was cool.
Didn't like it.
Right?
No, I didn't hate it either. You say you didn't see me trashing the sandwich, and you know I could, but I got nothing bad to say. So you went to school, busted your ass to go away from Figueroa and its employees. So why did you come back?
Because I really miss living in LA. There's two reasons. I really didn't know how to navigate the working space. I still don't actually. Like I don't know, and I think this is a problem that a lot of first-gen students have, and I don't know if you guys can relate. It's really hard to jump from one job to another job that pays you better because sometimes you don't know how to get that job or you don't know how to network. So for me, it was easier to, you know what, I always wanted to be a teacher, and I'm like, well, let me just go back and teach students in my community. And that's what sparked. Just realizing that I had different opportunities than my own classmates in high school. So I wanted to make sure that I wasn't only providing attention to my high straight A students, but also those B students or C students that needed a little bit extra push.
So you're trying to spread the wealth.
I'm trying to spread the wealth. The social capital.
So speaking of spread the wealth, as far as your side hustle, the wealth and health journey, I mean, I know that's one of the things we really want to preach, not only to just adults, but to kids as well. It helps that you're a teacher because you could start spreading the message early on for them, right? How do you tend to do that?
Different ways, I show them videos of different people that I'm already watching so they can start watching them, giving them information. For example, let's look at the stock market today. For example, with my middle school students, at the beginning of the year or at the end of last year, I had them look at 10 different stocks. Actually, I asked them what are 10 different companies that you like to buy from? Yeah. Nike, they're gamers,
Apple,
so
all that stuff.
Nintendo,
Yeah.
Sony, and all these other companies I haven't heard from because I don't buy from them. And then I'm like, all right, now go and see if they have stocks, the name of it, and I'm like, all right, now go check the prices. Trying to show them these skills and just to get them comfortable, right? Because I think a lot of their times people don't invest is because well, I don't know where to start. I'm intimidated by the little numbers. I'm intimidated by the graphs, and it's just numbers and graphs. You've seen this before.
Yeah, and that's crazy because 8th grade us would have probably learned a lot if a teacher would have been like, hey, you want to make some more money besides your job? Start looking at this, and that. The fact that you're doing that is pretty dope. These kids, they're going to take away our jobs later on.
I mean, you got kids. I'm pretty sure there's some high schoolers that have stock already.
Oh, yeah.
By the time they graduate, they're gonna have some good change in their pockets.
Yeah, it's going to be some accumulated.
But again, that's what I was thinking. With school, they don't teach you that stuff, the tax returns and all that stuff you need. You really use it in adult. Bro, I haven't used a quadratic formula once since I graduated and dropped out of college.
That was going to be my next question. It was kind of a big question. Why? I don't want to dig a deep hole. I don't know if it gets it would get you in trouble, but why do you think, for example, LAUSD, why don't you think they focus more on stuff like that or other subjects that could more necessarily help out students for their future? You would have probably shown students how to budget better in 10th, 11th grade instead of the quadratic formula. Why don't you think they do that?
So I know because things it's a low income or first gen problem. Yeah. I think it's actually a whole nationwide problem, just kind of like Medi-Cal, right? We don't have that. Personal finance is only mandated in less than 10 states. Less than 10 states. So it's not a LAUSD problem.
I had a teacher, I don't know if you remember Mr. Rosas. I could say shout out to Mr. Rosas, by the way. He was probably one of the realest teachers. That's why I respect people who are just blunt and will tell you straight up how it is. He was always real with everything that he would teach. And is that how you pretty much are with your students as well? Or do you kind of sugarcoat it a little bit, just a little bit because they're in middle school still?
Not even the middle school kids. I don't. I try not to. I'm not gonna tell them no, you're never gonna do this. If they give me a crazy number, but I do try to be as blunt as I can with them, and even share them my stories with them. I tell them, I'm the oldest of 4 kids. My younger brother is 14. I'm trying to teach him everything that I wasn't taught at 14. So I'm basically the third parent. Yeah. And for a lot of my kids, I'm basically the older sister.
So for the third one, we decided to get the Peruvian steak sandwich, which is Lucy's favorite and the most appealing to Pedro.
Yeah, this is the realest one.
This one's more of a bolillo style bread.
Yes. So do you know what makes it Peruvian? Is it the type of meat they used or the way it was made?
Yes.
The way the meat is not marinated.
Okay.
Right now. Oh, that cheese.
Well, hockey cheese.
Oh, that's the shit.
It's like if I'm biting into a Philly cheesesteak and a pizza.
Yeah. Like I said, I just bit right through it, like no crunch, nothing, just smooth as shit. If you got sensitive ass teeth, this is the one for you. But I'm telling you, you can
Braces?
just soft as shit.
People with braces.
Yeah, so you're just throwing out, you can just bite through it.
Do you
I'm telling you,
even-
this is the first time like I bite into a sandwich where I don't have to like bite, like it just goes right through. And the cheese is a nice touch.
I can see why this would be your favorite. This is my favorite.
It's like a torta.
Mm-hmm.
You like it, and if you eat it there, it's
Yeah,
better.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, it's like fresh.
So the wealth and health journey, how did that start?
So I try to make this story as short as I can.
Okay.
Right after college, I started teaching. So I started getting my credential right away. Again, fast track, very lucky to do stuff like that. Right after college, I started teaching. And this was like the very first time I had a lot of money, like more money than my parents. So I was just going out and about all the time. And a year later, and I was also paying for my credential because this time I actually had to pay. My second year as a teacher, I was about to start on my master's. My grandfather in Mexico got really sick. He got sick and my dad had to go, and he was like super sick that I'm like, you know what? I'm about to start the school year. Let me just go ahead and see him in worst case scenario, right?
Yeah.
Me and my dad went, and at this point, my grandfather's already in the city, in the hospital, because he lives in a town. We were in a bus to my grandma, back to like their town. As we're like sitting in the bus, right? Because we cannot afford to like rent a car. And I'm like, why am I not able to rent a car? Like I should be able to, like I'm a teacher already. But we're still like on the bus. I just remember looking out the window and I got really sad. Because I'm like, my dad's in his mid-40s at that time. I'm in my almost mid-20s. If my dad gets sick in 20 years, am I going to be in the same situation? Am I going to be doing this trip again? And what if I have kids? So I started to think, I have 3 generations to take care of. My parents, because they don't have a retirement plan. They were always, working these low wage jobs. Myself, and then my kids if I have some. And that's when I was like, the amount of money that I'm earning right now is not it. The way I'm spending my money right now is not it. And at that time, I don't know why, I had this bright idea. I told my dad, let's start a party business. So when we came back, I went to the bank, got a loan, bought a party business, and we started renting chairs, tables. It was a good idea because it brought us money, but I'm just a little woman and I was doing all of this labor. The reason why I thought of a party business is because we have always associated, right? Like the immigrant community has always associated. Money comes from working hard, from physical labor. That's all we have seen.
Yeah.
So
That's our norm.
that's the norm, right? August 2018 to like end of 2019, I was doing that, like day in, day out, like teaching and then party business and my master's. So I think I was like working 70 hours a week, nonstop. Like woke up at 5 a.m., went to sleep at 10. Like I was in co-pilot mode. I was just like not functioning, not taking care of myself. And I decided to quit my job as a teacher right before the pandemic. Because I was like, I'm done. I don't like teaching. I'm not taking care of myself. So I just took a medical leave, basically like left. And my plan was to just sub, but COVID came and school shut down. At that time, no income came in, but what helped me was that 2019, I have saved a lot of money. I told myself, you know what, let's move forward, and what are we gonna do? And I'm like, you know what, I wanna teach people how to do personal finance. And with COVID, right, so many people lost their jobs, don't know what to do, panicking. And I'm like, I think I wanna start doing this. And that's how I started the Wealth and Health page. Wealth, because we want to like figure out better ways of, creating wealth through investing, making money work for us instead of working for money. That's why it's called the Wealth and Health, because my health had deteriorated because I had worked so much to create wealth. And I'm like, I need to cut those, and to taking care of your health, right? So yeah, that's how it started.
So you're a financial advisor. So you teach people how to budget and save money?
Yes.
And then you take some of that money for yourself?
Well, I charge for my job.
So if they were to hire you, what exactly would they be getting?
So if someone were to hire me, so it depends on what their struggles is, right? So sometimes people can come and be like, look, hey, I'm in my late 20s, I have no savings, I have credit card debt, I have not invested in anything, employer doesn't give me a 401k, I'm lost. What are we gonna do? So then in like 3-6 months, depending on how long they want to work with me, I'm like, all right, so we're gonna create a plan, create a budget, right? Because a lot of the times if we have debt, that means we don't know where our money's going. So we're gonna create a budget that they can follow. Then we would also have like a savings, start opening a savings account. Not the one with Bank of America because they only give you a 0.01% return. So if you have one with Bank of America or Chase, you have to go to a high yield savings account. which gives you a higher percentage, a higher return on your money. Let's make sure that you have 3 to 6 months in your savings fund, because in case you like lose your job, right, like in COVID times, you have 3 months, 6 months worth of money saved. And we would also have like sinking funds, which is kind of like a savings account, but like less money in case, like, you know, you want to go on a vacation or your parents get sick. Like, it's kind of like an emergency of the emergency.
Okay, damn.
That's the cushion.
Emergency squared.
And then investing. So if they haven't started investing, like I would walk them through, okay, this is how you can invest. I will be there to help them open a brokerage account. And yeah, basically that, and just accountability, and also working on my mindset.
So she's charging you for information. She'll organize everything that you'll need.
You just gotta do it yourself.
Yeah.
She'll set up the plan. And
She'll give you everything on the table. You just gotta execute it. If you don't execute it, then you're
it's not
wasting
gonna work.
money. That's just on you, buddy.
It's kind of like when you hire a trainer, right?
Yeah.
You can, like, he can train you, and you can go every single day. But if, like, you know, every single time after the gym, you like
Go to McDonald's.
or like don't eat at all, right? Like for me, that's the opposite. Like if I don't eat, I wasn't gaining weight, and it wasn't until I started eating. So it's like a trainer.
Yeah. Money trainer.
It's like
That's why she's a money coach.
Money coach.
We wouldn't consider yourself a life coach, just financial.
It kind of becomes, right? Like if eventually that's something that I can end up doing.
Your finances have a lot to do with your lifestyle, and your lifestyle impacts your finances.
But that's not the purpose, right? Like the purpose, yes, it's to budget and manage your money, but also build wealth. I'm not gonna tell someone budget. If they're not investing, they're not gonna have money in the end, like 20 years from now.
She's trying to set you up for life and other generations' lives. She's a money coach. She's not a miracle worker either. It doesn't change overnight, guys. As far as the webinars, do you have anything planned?
The main one that I'm having is a webinar, a workshop on Roth IRAs and how to invest long term. So Roth IRAs, investing long term. That's one thing. Anyone who comes into the workshop has access to the video or a workshop for 30 days. And then I also send a guide. And also I include a book that is really, really good and talks about long term investing. Another thing that I'm actually gonna do, and I'm planning to do this for South LA or LA women, money mindset and mole day at my house. It's only gonna be for women, just because I feel like when there's men involved, like women tend to like not talk. So the whole point is to like have women discuss like their fears about money, how they view money, and kind of like start reconstructing our way of thinking towards money. So that's one thing that I'm having planned for the end of July. So you'll see that soon. And then just money coaching.
Links will be on the description, guys, if you guys are interested. Women, ladies, if you guys want any advice, or you guys just want to go to the workshop, just trying to help you guys learn more about how to like build your wealth, definitely hit up Lucy for that.
I know we're not invited to the women one, but can we stop by for mole?
Yeah.
We'll leave.
You know what? You guys
let me get out of there. Like
you guys invited me for food, so I'll definitely drop off a plate.
Yes. You know, just remind everybody for the goal that you want to set for everybody as far as your health and wealth journey. What type of message do you want to send to them?
For me, the most important thing is to have more first-gen Latino women of color just know that they can build generational wealth. The goal of empowered, more first-gen, low-income women of color to start investing and building wealth. I think that's like the most important part. Like women, and I'll speak for myself, like we tend to save, right? Ahorra. You probably hear that from your mom a lot. For men, you tend to like see them opening business. At least that's what I saw growing up. So for me, it's like, okay, women have to start investing. They have to start building wealth. So that's my goal, making sure that people get over that money mindset, scarcity mindset. And I still struggle with it even now that even though like I'm investing, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, it's still a daily struggle where I'm like, do people really need to hear this? Maybe people know this already. Like, why am I gonna show up? Like, I'm gonna be looking like the dumb one. Like, she doesn't know this.
Yeah.
And sometimes a lot of people are like, no, like we don't know this.
let's say the first time we don't know this.
So it's like a constant reminder of, okay, I have to show up for my community so they can show up for other people in their community or spaces.
Breaking barriers, you know, setting up for the future. That's definitely something that should catch your guys' attention. Alright guys, so we're at that final part of the video where we got to hit Lucy with a speed round. We hit every guest with a speed round to try to give people a better idea of your taste buds. So
we got to know your personal life, let's get to know your taste buds.
Sweet or savory food?
Sweet.
Sweet. Spicy or mild?
Spicy.
Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Pineapples or no pineapples on pizza?
Pineapple.
Nice. Fruits or vegetables?
Fruits.
Burgers or tacos?
Tacos.
Tacos. There you go. Ramen or pho?
Ramen.
Oh, nice. Nutella or peanut butter?
Nutella.
Skittles or M&M's?
M&M's.
I think this one's pretty answered already, but eating in or eating out?
Eating in.
Yeah. Alright guys, so it's that time. Pedro's thoughts.
Usually when we have guests, I like to personalize it. So if you have a financial advisor, I'll give you my way, especially right now that in summer, you guys have more free time, on how to save some money. Be single. Think about it. You really want to spend your fuckboy or hot girl summer arguing with someone? Are you single? See, look how happy she is. Look at that smile. Proves my point. Amen.
So now we're gonna give our overall grade and our favorite plate. And since Lucy is here, of course, we're gonna start with you. Out of 5 stars, what would you give this place? Non-biased, of course.
Non-biased, a 4.
Oh, good.
I am.
That's a good grade. Pedro?
For being fake, 4. I cannot tell you I hated the sandwich. And again, every single one was something new. The corn and sandwich.
That's good.
You? Yeah, again, the Peruvian. I want to keep saying Cuban. The Peruvian one. Really nice. Like I said, just the bite into it was just different. I enjoyed that.
Well, I guess it's just gonna be a broken record because I am a 4 as well, and my favorite sandwich was the Peruvian sandwich as well. That one just stood out differently because, like,
It was the real meat.
No, it's not that. Like I said, the cheese just made it a difference maker.
Yeah.
The sandwich that I guess you could say we kind of related to a lot more than like the other ones because, you know, we don't eat ciabatta every day and we don't eat the sesame seed bread every day.
There's that more torta vibes.
Yeah, so definitely the bolillo type breading definitely made it more of a custom for us. Like, we're just used to it. So overall grade is going to be right there, guys, for Mendocino Farms.
Was it now? Oh, it's still in now.
We just want to thank Lucy once again for just coming onto the show. We really enjoyed this episode. We learned a lot, to say the least.
You're my favorite guest we've had all year.
Hey,
Coming from Pedro, that means a lot.
I know, right? Where can we find you?
So you can find me on Instagram at the Wealth and Health Journey, and I'll be hosting a webinar very soon. So just keep an eye out on that post.
Definitely keep an eye out. The link is going to be right here and in the description if you guys are interested. Once again, we just want to thank Lucy for coming onto the show, and we'll catch you guys later.
So